The penultimate episode of Jujutsu Kaisen is finally here, and the end of my short-lived YouTube career also draws nearer. For the time being, however, let's talk about the dope shit that happened this week, because to be honest, I wasn't even expecting half of it. Funnily enough, this episode is one of the few episodes recently that has given us a moment to breathe. Following the rampage caused by the many battles fought all over Shibuya, the city is silent. No screaming, no murmuring, just cold concrete colliding onto itself and the short sparks of electricity inside the last light posts still standing. Panda is in gorilla mode now, likely an indicator for how he was able to actually survive Maximum Meteor, and he quickly spots Kusakabe. I originally interpreted this panel as Kusakabe kind of just chilling in the rubble, holding off the giant slab with his sword, basically keeping himself safe but hidden. Kind of like when I'd go to the bathroom at work because my stomach hurt. Regardless, he's safe and not at all pleased with what just happened. Yuji should have been in control, yet how is Sukuna still able to come out? Kusakabe is even okay with Yuji getting the death penalty if Gojo isn't unsealed, and as much as you might want to tell this guy to get a grip or try to explain Yuji's situation, at the end of the day, Kusakabe doesn't know Yuji. This was likely his first interaction with him, so his reaction is more than justified. What isn't justified is this next scene. And look, I'm not gonna horny post, I'm not gonna joke about how lucky Wee Wee is or say that it should have been me and not him, but I'm not gonna defend Mei Mei here. This is undoubtedly peak degeneracy at the least, and some kind of grooming / power dynamic fuckery going on at the most. Soyness aside, this is unironically a kind of good character flaw that Mei Mei has, and I think the scene itself does a good job highlighting it. Okay, maybe it goes over the text a few times, but I think you get the idea. One of my previous assessments of Mei Mei was that I like her. I like her character because of her morally dubious nature. I kept it vague back in those episodes, but this here is the culmination of that. She is competent, she is strong, and she is on the side of the good guys, but she isn't a good person. Her brother's like a tool to her, only able to use Jujutsu with her permission. She actively sabotages the livestream back in season 1, likely on Gakuganji's order so that Yuji could be killed off without interference, and now she's abandoned the battlefield and is spending her night selling off her yen and other assets in preparation for the likely collapse of the Japanese market on account of Shibuya, even giving insider information to unnamed parties for more money. And arguably worst of all, she is chilling in Malaysia, the exact same country Nanami had wanted to go to at the end of his life. A despicable person is given the opportunity to enjoy her life in comfort, whereas someone outstanding and upstanding like Nanami gets his taken away all too soon. This scene in a vacuum is undoubtedly sus, but I think it helps flesh out the world of Jujutsu Kaisen and just paints a pretty grim picture of the state of the world, that someone like Mei Mei is considered a good guy, or good woman. Plus, I just really want to... Oh, what's this bright light? Oh, it's Choso having a mental breakdown as he keeps seeing Yuji in his mind. You're telling me this dude has been zooked out of his mind while everything else has been going on outside? Nevertheless, Choso makes his way out and is in search of Yuji. What is Yuji to him? I'll tell you what he isn't. Built for this next fight, Mahito has managed to scurry behind fake Geto, and Yuji isn't gonna let that slide. He makes a run for Mahito, but a catfish-like curse is dropped into the ground, and its ability messes with Yuji's perception, causing him to fall over. Geto's mouth also isn't drawn here, which looks kind of funny, and the thumbnail says Yap Demon for a reason, because fake Geto does not shut the f up. No, I do not care about your curses and your fighting style. I don't need the history lesson on the mid-Edo era, and I really don't care about the fact that Geto had the potential to beat Yuta back in Volume 0. Wait, he had the potential to do what? Suffice to say, Fei Geto is strong, and is very quickly showing the true strength that the original Geto should have realistically had. Unfortunately, we never got to see a modern era adult Geto, so all we have is the bum from Zero. I'm choosing to highlight Fei Geto's strength here because he is in the body of a special grade sorcerer. Who's a special grade sorcerer? Well, excluding Gojo obviously, Yuta's a special grade sorcerer, and Yuki is one as well. Yuji is so close to the prison realm, yet in his current state he now has to face that fresh fake Geto. If only he had some help from an unlikely ally. Mahito leaps at fake Geto in an attempt to replenish himself, but his attack is parried and the absorption process from fake Geto begins. I've always known it because I was born of humans. Ever since that glance Mahito threw at fake Geto back in the subway, he's known that this betrayal was coming. Of all the characters in the show, few understand the human condition better than Mahito. and as he leaves those parting words, the assimilation begins. A quick process in the manga is stretched out in the anime as Mahito's body contorts. He attempts to claw away like he did when running from Yuji, and summons hands that all reach to grab hold of something, anything that will save him. But in the end, Mahito's absorbed, and now Fei Geto has his hands on Idol Transfiguration. I would have still rather Yuji get the kill, but Jujutsu Kaisen just doesn't play ball like the rest of them. The rug is constantly being swept under the feet of our heroes, and this time, us, the viewers, as well. Yuji's speech and chase was cathartic, and all that was missing was the finisher from Yuji. I don't hate the direction personally, but I'm on team Yuji should have gotten the kill rather than the assist. And okay, listen, I've yapped for a little bit until now, but I don't even come close to the Yap King over here, and we've still got another episode. The guy just won't shut up and goes on and on about how, ew, Uzumaki kinda sucks, or recycled curse is this, less versatility that. Just shut up, throat goat that ball, and extract the technique. Wait, did he just say extract? Before the Yap King can explain just exactly what extraction means in this context, the Kyoto students have made their way onto the battlefield and Jump Kaisen is back in full force. Usually we're used to the 2-on-1s, but this time around the entire squad pulled up and none of them can even land a hit. Mai, funnily enough, comes close, even getting praise from Fei Geto for bringing the blicky. Despite how much of a beating they can take, sorcerers are actually weaker than you'd think. It's like that scene where Krillin hits Goku with a rock, except in Jujutsu Kaisen, if you get shot without properly defending yourself, you can just die. And I kinda find that cool. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, the honored one, standing above all, finally makes her way onto the battle scene. Blitzing Fei Geto and appearing behind him, Miwa uses 1% of her strength on the quick draw. Unbeknownst to her, however, Fei Geto was a little stronger than expected and blocks the attack, uses maximum Uzumaki, and we get one of the coolest looking attacks in the series. The Uzumaki sequence was one that I had not considered prior to the episode actually. In the manga, it forms and is launched at Miwa almost immediately. In the anime, however, we get an entirely new sequence that rivals that of the movie. Like, seriously, this looks amazing. Where Geto's original Uzumaki was just a black amalgamation of curses with little tiny arms, Fei Geto's Uzumaki is only being powered by Mahito, and you can clearly see him influence the shape and form of the attack. The myriad of hands reaching out as if to touch Miwa, and then the eye as it expands, ready to engulf her completely. And from out of nowhere, the one least willing to be there, Kusakabe makes a save with a simple domain, deflecting the Uzumaki away from Miwa. Okay, I know what you all might be thinking. Why did Kusakabe even bother when Miwa already had Fei Geto exactly where she wanted him? And of that I say, I don't fucking know. As if this battle royale wasn't getting convoluted enough, Choso waddles in and drops a lore nuke. The brain inside Geto is actually none other than Noritoshi Kamo. No, not that Kamo. Rather, it is the stain on the history of Jujutsu, a sorcerer so devilish that he earned the nickname the most evil sorcerer in Jujutsu history. And above all that, Choso's father-ish. Choso and the remaining death paintings are created by a woman being impregnated by a curse and then having that woman's blood be mixed with Kamo's. No, not his. The result is 9 pregnancies, 9 abortions, and 9 cursed womb death paintings all connected by blood. And Yuji is somehow related, making him Choso's brother. A big point of contention I saw in some of my comments during Red Scale was that Choso was just a Joe Schmo with no connection to Yuji, and now I'm just wondering what some of you will say going forward and potentially going back and rewatching the episode with this added context, as well as, I guess, expanded scenes that we'll be getting on later down the line. And I'll just come out and say this. Choso did not throw hands like this in the manga. First of all, impressive feat by Uraume, being able to actually block piercing blood like that. Seriously, it looked like Choso's hands were gonna explode the way he was flexing that shit. Secondly, Choso may have been able to pull some sick shit against Fei Geto, but he is still completely outclassed because the amount of cursed spirits that this man can whip out at any moment really makes you believe when he says that Geto could have beaten Yuta. At one point, he completely redirects piercing blood with this curse and even tries to womp Choso. Like, it's just so cool. And also the curse from Hidden Inventory makes its way back, the little flying one. The gang spent a long time watching Choso get folded, but they finally decide to join in on the action. However, Uraume says no, and zero diffs literally all of them. Heian era sorcerers are built different, I guess. But at the same time, it is kind of expected if you're gonna be Sukuna's ally. And I just love how cold they are as they prepare to off Choso, but Yuji comes in clutch with a dropkick. Uraume kicks it up a notch, almost killing everyone, but in the nick of time, special grade sorcerer Yuki makes the save. My type of girls have big butts and mental issues. People had speculated prior to Shibuya that we would not be able to fit all of the arc in just 19 episodes. But the fact that they have not only done that, but have also blessed us with anime-only scenes like Choso getting his shit rocked, we couldn't have been more wrong, and the final episode is shaping up to be pretty awesome, and ending off on a very, very frustrating panel, at least for the enemy onlys. But let's save that for next week. Thanks for watching, check out last week's review if you want to see more, and if you want to binge the entire thing, the playlist is right here too. See ya!